Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. This will be the first episode in a series where I will be reviewing the free games off the Epic Game Store every week. This first game is Where the Water Tastes Like Wine. It is a narrative-driven adventure game where players will explore a Great Depression-era United States, hearing and collecting oral stories and passing them along. From what I've played so far of the game, it's a very story-driven game where you'll make decisions based on a narrative given to you, and it'll just kind of unfold in front of you and you'll just keep going with how it goes, living with your decisions. So I'll show you all a little bit of the gameplay, but I don't want to spoil anything too big. I will show you what one of the typical interactions is like in the game. I will warn you though, the narrator has a super calming voice and I'm sitting here yawning at just after 6 p.m. when I'm trying to edit this, so you've been warned.
You can see storm clouds on the horizon, and you don't relish the thought of being caught wandering this rocky seaside road in the rain. Fortunately, you find the lighthouse door open, with a daunting staircase before you. At the top of an ornate wrought iron spiral, you're breathless and feeling the strain on your knees. Rain already batters the walls outside. You can only knock on a heavy wooden door leading into the upper level. Muffled voices and light seep in beneath the door. "Looks like we got a visitor." Sounds like a man's voice, deep and rough.
"Well, behave yourself. I'll open the door."
Another man, this one with a higher, more sonorous voice. "I always behave myself." He feigns indignation, but his tone betrays affection instead. After a moment, the door unlatches from the inside and opens. The man before you is tall and muscular, with a hint of a paunch beneath his wide chest. The heavy iron knob on the door looks nearly dainty in his huge hand.
"Didn't want to be out in this rain, did you? Come in."
Despite the rough exterior, this room looks like a well-appointed parlor. There's a rug on the well-trod wooden floor and an enormously plush couch. And sat upon it is a stocky fellow grinning through a great hazel-colored beard. "Tea?" he offers, hoisting a teapot.
"Oh, we manage."
The tall one sits on the sofa, casually wrapping an arm around the other lighthouse keeper.
"The quiet suits us just fine."
"He needs his quiet time. He's a writer." The tall one grunts.
"I dabble. But you must have some good stories from the road."
You wake up the next morning on their old sofa, still warm from an excess of tea. And cakes? There might have been little cakes. Prodigious snoring rumbles in from the floor above you, and you quietly take your leave.
You can see up in the top left corner that you've now collected one of the 200 some stories that are available throughout the game. Next we'll be looking at what a main character interaction looks like.
"Hey, traveler. Come to join my... Well, I guess I know you well enough to let you set yourself down for a spell. You remember Cass and Flip. You want to hear more about my travels? Well, sure, why not? Nothing better than trading stories around the fire, and I got stories. I want a story that scares me. Now I'm older, almost nobody can do it. Give me your best shot."
This is the story wheel that comes up when you talk to one of the main characters. When the story wheel is up, you'll have access to all of these stories, and their goal is for you to tell the person you're talking to a story that they want to hear. So if they want to hear a happy story or a scary story, then you tell them a happy story or a scary story, and that allows you to progress along their story.
Wow, that's the stuff, stranger. Spooky campfire tales are my favorite. Freedom. Well, teacher used to talk about freedom like America was eat up with it. But the tramping kind seems to be just about the only real freedom still in supply. Ain't no freedom from an empty stomach or bad weather, unless you're rich. I want to hear one of them venturing tales. Got any?
If you have a successful night, then you will gain one of their stories, and you'll also progress along their story chain, which is the goal of the game. Here we see the map that the game gives you. You can filter it for all the different things, the different cities, the different main roads, where you can cross rivers. One of the interesting things about the game is you're not able to just walk across rivers and walk across mountains, even though you are just a big skeleton walking around. You can see the different train yards, with pink going to pink and green going to green. You can see all the different main characters for when you have to hunt them down, as progressing with them and their stories is the main point of the game. You can see the stories that you've collected so far, and you can see all of the other unseen stories. I'm going to go ahead and hitchhike while we talk about the game for the last little bit. I definitely think this game is very slow and relaxing if that's your type of game. It's free right now on Epic Games Store, which is why I'm doing this review. So there is no reason not to at least put it into your game library. I know some people just like to stack and stack and stack their game libraries. And maybe just hold on to it for a rainy day, or for when you want to relax, or when you just kind of want to chill. It's not a game that I'll probably pick up too much more, but it's definitely something I'm going to keep in the back of my mind for when I'm having one of those days where I kind of just want to relax and have someone tell me a story. If you like this video, please like and subscribe, and I will catch you on the next one. Thank you.